Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we have news. February 2025 tourist numbers for the Dominican Republic. Stay tuned. Did it go up or did it beat or go down 2024 numbers? And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, please share the videos. You never know who's watching, who needs this information, because remember, when you make investments or think about investing in a certain area, whether it's a country, whether it's a city, whether it's a countryside, you need to understand the future to evaluate if your investment can improve over time. Remember, when you buy real estate, make investments in business, you already know what you're going to make before you buy. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I will have a link down below in the description box because this is a very, very short read. I will just say something about normal behavior. If there is great news and somebody wants to give you great news, they will tell you right away. If there is bad news, they delay the bad news and they downplay it. Notice I don't have the Minister of Tourism on the screen here in this picture like they normally do and give you the tourist numbers. Notice the headline that you see, Dominican Republic sees 10% decline in tourist arrivals. Some people would dismiss this and say, oh, it's just 10%. Well, let's look a little deeper because we have investors here who have invested in the Dominican Republic, whether it's business, whether it's real estate, whether it's residency. So, business-wise is what we need to increase no matter which country you live in. So if there's a 10% decline in tourist arrivals, we need to understand those numbers, and you guys here in the SSN Nation know why. So let's get to it, shall we? You can see right here, after 4 years. Now, this is February 2025 numbers. They did not release until April 4th. They skipped announcing this in the month of March. You know what may happen for the month of March as well? Let's see how long they wait to announce March's numbers. But we're in February 2025 numbers announced in April. So when it didn't happen, I told people on the live streams, we know something's wrong. And here it is. Proof is in the pudding. After 4 years of record-breaking growth, the Dominican Republic's tourism sector has experienced a nearly 10% drop in arrivals in 2025, according to Tourism Minister David Collado. Now, I don't know what they actually mean by this 10% thing, but this is what we do when we invest. We look at the real numbers. Okay, here's the real numbers. February 2025, the country welcomed 588,212 non-resident passengers, a 9.85% decline compared to February 2024 when 755,000 tourists arrived. Listen, the Tourism Intelligence System reported that 167,620 fewer non-residents visited in the month of February alone. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you may say 10% is no big deal, When you go from 755,000 down to 588,000, losing 167,000 people that are non-tourists, which means that's 167,000, whatever the average is per person, that turns into a lot of money. That turns into a lot less tourism dollars. That turns into a lot less vacation rentals and hotel occupancy rates and things of this nature. Now, the most important thing we need to understand is where traditionally an average of around 60% of tourists come from Canada and the United States. Here's where the real problem lies. The most significant decline came from the Americas with a 21% drop. They're talking about USA and Canada being coy. 141,000 fewer tourists. Why? Anybody notice anything going on in the United States? The number one consumer nation, their citizens are under siege. Less income means less travel. It's as simple as that. And it bears out these numbers starting in the month of February. European arrivals also fell by 25%. These numbers are significant. So it's not 10%, ladies and gentlemen. You can see right here, the bulk of the tourism is down over 20%, not 10. That's significant. Now, look at this. February 2025 received 1,348,000 non-resident visitors, marking a year-over-year decrease of 10%. I don't know why they say 149,920 fewer tourists compared to the same period, but you guys can see 141,000 just from the America, Canada, and United States. 25% less from EU. These are all consumer nations. They won't even give the number and percentages in this article, which should scare the bejesus out of everybody. They're not telling us what the percentages are to the airport, which they normally do as well. 60% of all tourism that comes into the Dominican Republic by air lands at Punta Cana Airport. That means we don't know what it actually means overall, but we still know more people are going to land at Punta Cana Airport. But is that down 10%, 20%, 30%? We don't know the actual number. They have not released it yet. So again, for all our investors out here, we need to keep track of this. Don't worry. Some of you, the majority of you, purchased years ago. So you've locked in a price that should carry you through regardless, and it should make sure that you have an occupancy rate that is decent. Now, again, AirbTix, AirbTics.com. You can see the whole province of La Altagracia. I'll put a link down below, and that's where Cap Cana is, Punta Cana is, and Verón and everybody else. They're in that province in the Dominican Republic. You can understand the occupancy rate from there, or AirDNA. All right, you can go that route as well. But these are the things that investors have to constantly look at. Just because you bought something 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, or 4 years ago at a certain price, it was a great price then. It's probably going to be a great price now. But if there's a recession, that means people aren't going to be willing to pay when it was high season, when it was breaking records for tourism and there was a glut of people coming. Less people coming means you have to adjust. Now let's see what happens for the month of March. If we start seeing a downtrend, which I quite expect because of the stock market around the world, they're all falling. Most people start being safe. They don't start saying, well, I'll splurge and spend $2,500, $3,500, $4,000 or $5,000 to go somewhere. They're thinking, I better save this money because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So, with all that said, let me know what you guys think down below. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, but you always have to be in tune with the cold, hard facts, because that way you get to maneuver So everybody who bought 4 years ago, and you have these nice prices at the 0.1%, you're probably still going to win. The only deal is now what's going to happen when more properties come on the market and you're all competing with the same limited amount of consumers. Again, make your comments down below. Let me know what you think. And I appreciate you watching. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.